Why was Saints Row, the reboot, so bad? About a week ago, I decided that I wanted to throw some money into a burning fire. That $30 blaze of a mess is Saints Row, but the reboot. The game came out in 2022 to some pretty lackluster reviews, with the exception of Game Informer and Destructoid giving the game 8s. I think we played different games. Anywho, as someone who ignored all the warning signs and decided to buy this $30 mess of a game, here's the short review.
It f***ing sucked!
For people that want the long review, the Saints Row reboot takes place in Santo Elizo, which is apparently modeled after Las Vegas, Nevada. You as the player will fight various gangs/factions, those being the Los Punteros, the Idols, and the Marshals. Each faction, head of said faction, is more forgettable than Aaron Rodgers' first season in New Jersey, and seem to exit the story as fast as they enter it. The story is centered around 5 major characters. Boss, or the player character, is an entirely customizable character at the start of the game, so you can make this character look however you would like. For instance, I chose to make my character look a little bit like myself, but as if I was some sort of love child of Aaron Donald and Jose Canseco, with a little bit of Chris Pratt doing a terrible Texas accent.
Whoops, sorry about that.
You're a fucking maniac.
Well, you know, I have a lot of practice and pent-up rage.
I hear that.
Eli, who is the brains behind the operation, is pretty much the sole reason this organization even functions or generates any cash early on. Nina, who is apparently some sort of getaway driver for things? I don't know. The Nawali, who is by far the coolest character, and that's not saying much, is the main antagonist, and that's because he betrays you in the last couple missions. Spoilers, but honestly, Stevie Wonder could have even seen that one coming, and it's very unlikely you're gonna even buy this game. And lastly, we have Kevin. Oh, fucking Kevin. Kevin is by far the worst character in any video game I have ever played. He is described as a DJ and people pleaser, but my description of him is that he's a discount Johnny Gat lookalike who has the personality of nails on a chalkboard that for some reason cannot find a goddamn t-shirt to put on. One could also describe him as dude from Free Guy minus the muscles. This story is basically the group just starting the Saints Empire while unnecessarily unaliving anyone in their way. And the world is literally a barren wasteland with the amount of content that you can actually do. Yes, you have a bunch of side activities, but none of them really amount to anything and are pretty boring outside of smashing yourself into cars. I mean, one of the literal activities in this game is understanding the history of Santo Elizo. I mean, even the biggest lore nerd doesn't find this interesting.
Did you know this land was once the ranch of Sheriff Francis McQuarrie, the man who brought Route 66 to Santo Elizo. Each year, thousands enjoy world-famous attractions along this stretch of highway thanks to Sheriff Frank.
Fun fact, Saints Row the reboot cost $100 million to make. Yep, you heard me right, $100 million. For reference, that is literally more than the entire Oakland Athletics payroll. Your benchmark was to deliver a product that was better than the Athletics product, and you barely did that. And I'll say this, Saints Row the reboot is one of the worst reboots to a franchise I have ever seen. It's a game that was built in 2023 that looks and plays like it's stuck in 2013. It's a game that has some of the most unlikable characters of all time. Fuck you, Kevin. It's a game that has very little to do in a world that is just super boring and awful to look at. Not to mention, the ending literally made me vomit. Also, great job at the end when I had to kill the Nawale, spoilers, because there's nothing better than seeing my character T-pose and kill the enemy and fade to black. Also, what was with this recycled background music? Each mission seems to contain 1 of 3 rap songs, being Party Up by DMX, Anti Up by MOP, or Sound of Da Police by KRS-One. Like, just imagine if, say, Guardians of the Galaxy just played Mr. Blue Sky for all 3 films. Actually, that wouldn't be that bad. Again, Saints Row the reboot is by far the biggest pile of junk that I probably have ever played. One that unfortunately caused the shutdown of Volition, a studio that not only made the Saints Row games, but made one of my personal favorites, the Red Faction games. So here's to hoping each of the people that were involved in this studio find something new and work on something even better than this. I don't know what happened with this game. I'm very curious to see where that $100 million went, but that's it. Saints Row the reboot is a 4 out of 10. It's, yeah, eat Arby's.